Howdy, Robert. Good to see you. Howdy, Karen. Robert, you have a very important question. Hold on, we'll get to this question. I can't wait for New Hook to come back, but who leaves? I honestly don't know. Valeno, obviously, currently an odd man out. Um, they keep putting Gallagher in. Gallagher is really starting to look like. "Ooh." Don't know about Gallagher. That's a tough one. That would be my vote right now. Win probability 45%, says Karen. Hey, considering how the Canadiens usually play against the Minnesota Wild, I will take 45% any day of the week. Right? Just doing a little sound checking on here. Mark, good to see you again. Is Line a healthy scratch or he's still injured? He is technically still injured, but uh, yeah, no. If he were an essential component of this team, he would be playing right now. Is how I feel. Get a little bit of sound difficulties on RDS tonight. Not sure what's going on. Hopefully that gets rectified before game time. Not a, not un, not horrendous. Sometimes that happens. Anyways, you're from San Diego. Lovely. I'm a Giants fan, as you can see. I hope we take good care of Luis Arias. They just signed yesterday, who is of course a San Diego Padre for a number of years. Oh, it's P Brown who's the San Diegoan. Karen Rooney's got some love for Galley. Galley's trying so hard in the corners. I know. Trust me when I say it brings me like zero joy to say that Gallagher looks like he's the 13th best forward on the team right now, but because it's not from a lack of effort, but man, he's so slow right now. He's a second behind everything. It's tough. The NHLPA might cause a problem if the Canadians don't activate Line, who has been medically cleared. Yeah, I think honestly, if not for the Olympic break, I think gives them a bit of a an opportunity where I think all the teams are probably like a little bit lineup crazy right now. So honestly, I think they get a little break because of that. But once the break is over, he's going to be very healthy. So he's going to have to go in the lineup. How am I doing? Doing okay. 2 games to the break. So we're gonna do both games. We're gonna do tonight. We're gonna do Wednesday, and then I will take a little break. And then we'll be back. RDS had sound trouble during the Scotties. Oh no! So it's hopefully rectified before the game, but very odd. And before you tell me, hey, you could watch it on Amazon tonight. I no longer have Amazon Prime. I got rid of it because I don't. Other than the occasional hockey game, I never watch it, and I don't buy much. I don't buy anything. I don't buy anything, let alone buy anything on Amazon. So I don't have it, but it's a good broadcast. I will. Karen, I do still have a bit of a cough. It is pretty permanent in the winter, unfortunately. I should speak more from the diaphragm. Also, would help a lot. I do have my water here, though. I'm in good shape. Ryan Katz says Dobesh is now firmly the number one goaltender. Yes, it's his fourth start in a row. All right, hold on. We got some Habs lines for you. Oh, you get to watch it on ESPN Plus. Yeah, I don't get to. I don't get to do that, unfortunately. Can we do a live during the Team Canada games? Maybe. If they, yeah, we'll see how it goes. There's a good chance. You know what? Because if you guys remember last year during the Four Nations, I was like, I'm taking this time off. I'm going to the beach. Leave me alone. And then, and then it got really good, and then I came back. So if the games are good, I'll be there. If the games are not good, I won't be there. All right, here are lines for tonight. Doc back on the first line. Second line the same. Third line the same. Valeno back in. Evans, Bolduc. So who's out? Oh, I guess because Texier's still out. And then Matheson, Gooley, Hudson Dobson, Jack Carrier, and Dobesh. Hudson Dobson was pretty remarkable as a pairing. Very good. So more of that, please. As for Doc on the first line, I mean he's looked great. Tony Marinaro is off to Italy next week. His friend got medal round tickets for the men's tournament and the women's. Oh. And really, Tony Marinaro is not turning down a trip to Italy, man. He's gonna go. Howdy, Bob. Should be a good game tonight. Habs are playing well. And Minnesota, also a very good team. Yeah, they really are. And it sounds like they're going to keep adding players. They're dangling their top prospect goalie, Jesper Wallstead. Uh, I'd imagine somebody like a Robert Thomas is what they're looking for, which would be a pretty huge get for them. They could definitely use another center. That would be a pretty good ad for them if they can do that. What does St. Louis need? They need a little bit of everything. Oh yeah, we got a little bit of hockey news today. Barry Trotz resigning as the general manager of the Nashville Predators. Good coach, bad GM. He definitely did a bad job. Not I wouldn't put it entirely on him. Nashville is one of those teams that really like tries to uh, get a playoff round in. Their goal is not to. They're never going to rebuild and like tear it down. I don't think as an organization they feel comfortable like being bad for 3 years. Now they're gonna have no choice. Unfortunately, sometimes the rebuild comes for you, and then you're just bad, which is what's happening here. But whoever comes in, I think, is gonna have one more opportunity to make this like Stamkos era work. And yeah. Anyways, and I would imagine Marty's would talk to Stamkos, but I don't see the fit. I guess I see the fit if Line goes. If Line goes, Stamkos literally could just be that guy. Good evening, Kelly. Good to see you again. Ryan Katz says the Canadiens need to start playing Jack 10 to 12 minutes. Our defense will be taxed come playoff time. Yeah, they got to trust him a little more. The other problem is if there's an injury and he moves up, and we saw this when Gooley was out and Struble had to come in and play like 16 minutes with Hudson, he was awful. Like, it just wasn't his game. And now Jack is in the same boat where if Gooley goes down again, who are you playing? You know? Who's taking those like 18 minutes a night? So it's tough. Golden opportunity to stick it to Guerin. Man, Cole Caulfield. I know we didn't do Saturday's game, but what can we say about Cole Caulfield? Keeps happening, you know? All this guy does is score. It's amazing. He might score 50. He's like kind of on the outside of 50 goals right now. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I will say this RDS sound issue very unpleasant. I'm gonna try to make it work tonight, but Struble and Line in a trade. I think Line in a trade potentially works if the salaries match up. So when we were talking about like Panarin being on the block, if the Canadians dangle some really good prospects, and then the Rangers sort of say, well, you can add Line in there to offset the salaries. That's kind of how I could see Line going somewhere, because nobody can take the salary otherwise unless you just like dump him. And I think the Canadians are still in the position where they can't really like sneer at somebody that good on the power play. Like I think they still need to give him a shot, unless they've really just decided you have no shot. Matthews scored in the shootout, so the Leafs are happy. They're in a tough spot, that team. I don't know what's going to happen to them. They should be sellers. That's a team that's going to have, like, if they do a sell off, it's like, that's going to hurt that team's psyche a little bit. I've seen Jack play a solid 10, 12-minute games during Gooley's absence. Yeah, I thought so too. So why not play him a bit more, right? Wild one in Tampa last night. Oh, was that the outdoor game where the goalies fought and John Cooper looked like a pimp? Finally, an outdoor game. That's interesting. It's been a while. Austin Matthews' scoring is falling faster than his hair. Ooch. An Austin hairline joke. He does have pretty bad hair. I think David Reinbacher is becoming trade bait. Man, I'm starting to agree with you, Ryan. I really didn't think so for the longest time because I was like, he's your fifth overall pick or your sixth overall pick or whatever overall, sixth overall, and you've invested this time, and you're always going to need a right-handed defenseman. They need one right now. Like, why would you not wait to see what you've got in David Reinbacher? But I think just from what you hear and the chatter around him, it just seems like organizationally they're not as excited about him as they were earlier. I think it extends beyond the injuries. I don't know exactly, but I am starting to think that he is indeed, if they really want a piece, like a real foundational, like they're not trading Reinbacker for a rental, like a real foundational piece. I do think he's in play. Yeah. Line A is a handicap 5-on-5. He certainly was last year. I think there's some hope that with the core injury now behind him, his skating is going to be a little better. We don't know. We don't know until he plays. I just don't know. All that we heard is that he looks a little better in practice. He looks better in practice. The skating seems to be like a little more back to, not that he was never a burner, but like a little bit. Um, P. Brown says, do you think they would trade Gooley? I do not. I've heard a rumor about it. I don't think so. They just, somebody of that talent and physicality on defense, they can't afford to lose. We see what the team is like without him. The defense is definitely a lot weaker without him. He's under contract at a very reasonable rate. Yes, would they like him to be more healthy? Yes. Would they like him to not get hurt? Absolutely. Do they have too many left-handed defensemen right now? Yes, they do. But Gooley is a massive part of this team. I would be shocked if they moved him. Bob's sisters live in the Tampa area, and they said it was cold. Really? It was cold in Tampa? Heck no, Gooley is a beast, Robert says. Yeah, I think so. You have to remember that when somebody is like oft injured, the acquiring team is also well aware of that. Guys like Doc and Gooley, it's going to be hard for you to get good value for them on the trade market because the other team at the other end is looking at the same thing and they're like, yo, Caden Gooley's a very talented player. We like Caden Gooley a lot, but he has not played a full season for you yet. So we're not going to give you whatever you want for him. And Doc is in the same boat. So then you look at what you have and you're like, oh, these guys, we saw them the last 3 games, how they were difference makers the last 3 games, games that the Habs won. So I think that the Habs look at these two guys and they're like, hey, if they're healthy, we're a really good team. We're a much bigger team. We're a much stronger team. Kane Gooley and Kirby Doc bring a lot of size and strength and talent to this team, which is what they need. You guys are talking about it all the time in the comments. This team needs to be bigger and stronger. Well, Kirby Doc and Kane Gooley in your lineup makes the team bigger and stronger. They got to be healthy. If they're not playing, they're not being useful. But I do think that they look at what they've gotten those guys, and they look at what's probably on the market, and they're like, we're gonna better to roll the dice with the guys we've got. I think. It was in the 40s in Tampa. Oh, I'm terrible at converting Fahrenheit to Celsius. Somebody tell me what 40s is like below 10 degrees Celsius, right? I believe. Yeah, eh? Yeah, it was cold in Tampa. You could see their breath. Jeez Louise. Yeah, the whole East, I guess the whole East Coast is being pummeled right now with winter. Hey, Joseph, good to see you again. I think the people who are sleeping on Reinbacher will see what the organization really sees in him. Slav style. Many people who were impatient saying he was average realize what the team saw in him. I hope so. It's a lot harder for defensemen in general. There's a lot more for a defenseman to be NHL ready. David Reinbacher has an incredible size, strength, and puck moving, especially like the outlet passing, and he's got a great stick. He's a little bit like Dobson. He's like a little more physical version of Dobson, and maybe not like such an elite passer, but he's like up there. So you can see why they drafted him so high. Right defensemen like that don't grow on trees, and having both him and Dobson healthy in a lineup could be potentially amazing. Very few teams have two right defensemen that talented, but I there's things that have been said about David Reinbacher's decision making that make it seem like his upside is maybe not what people thought it was when he was drafted. You know what I mean? Like it's not a skill, it's not a talent thing. It's just like an intelligence on the ice. Guys are closing in on you skill. I think there's a bit of a worry about that about Reinbacher. That doesn't mean that they're going to trade him. And I think that if they ever did entertain trading him, it would take a lot. Because again, he's a 21-year-old right-handed defenseman, crazy amount of skill and size. So he's gonna. I think in the end he's gonna get a chance to play here, but I do think if the Canadiens have a chance to get an elite player, I don't think he's off the table. But I would like to see David Reinbacher play, personally. Personally, I'd like to see David Reinbacher get a shot here. At this point, the Canadiens look like they're going to be in a deep playoff race up until the end. So I don't know if he's going to get an opportunity this year because I don't think they're going to want to put him in a position where there's going to be like winning on the line. And oh, here's your first game. Here's your first game. It's against Buffalo for 5th place in the conference. You know what I mean? Like it's not how they're going to roll, but it'd be fun to see him get a game or two. One of the best questions asked by upper management to a potential prospect is, are we crazy if we don't take you at 5? And the response is, yeah. So we're crazy, right? And Demidov, of course, said, yeah, you're crazy. Man, that draft is pretty interesting now. The guy drafted second, Levunshav, Levnushov by Chicago, has to go back to the minors. His game is a total mess. Bennett Seneke's looking every bit as good as Demidov. Caden Lindstrom looks like just perma injured back problem guy. Uh, and then obviously Macklin's Macklin, right? Matt, that was a Macklin draft. Am I remembering this correctly? Um, so I would say Demidov is a clear 2 or 3 from that draft, depending on how you feel about Seneke. Um, and yeah, Levunshav is in the same boat as Reinbacher. Like, all the ability in the world to be an all-world defenseman, but it's just not easy. It's just not easy becoming a defenseman in this league. So I don't know what's going to happen. Hello, Karen. I'm glad you have your drink in hand tonight. Decision making is key. Time will tell, of course. Transition to North American ice and injuries have hurt him. Yeah, he's behind. He's behind where he ought to be. So let's be patient with Reinbacher. I don't think that the Canadians are going to get the knock your socks off offer for him anytime soon. Um, like the guy who's clearly in play is Robert Thomas in St. Louis. If the Canadians were offered Robert Thomas for David Reinbacher and a little something something, I think they would probably do it, but I don't know if Rob Thomas is even the kind of player that they're looking to get right now. So somebody is. I think somebody will want him more than the Habs will if St. Louis decides to rip it up. But St. Louis again is a bit like Nashville, where they just I don't know if they have the stomach for a full rebuild. Like, it's important to those markets that they get, like, even if it's just 2 playoff gates. It's important to like get those every like every couple of years, and to not go 3-4 years without being in the playoffs. But then again, St. Louis is just so old right now, and that core just seems to have given up, and it doesn't seem like they like Kyrou very much. So they might have no choice but to blow it up, just like Nashville. Yeah, I think Kadri's making too much. Trotz is leaving. I can't understand why Nashville doesn't fully rebuild. I mean, they said it. They said they're probably not. All right, here we go. First period underway, and sure enough, RDS still has their weird sound problems. So I'm just gonna. It sounds like I'm listening to it on a ham radio tonight. Ugh. 38 seconds in. Nah, Minnesota score. Well, that was fast. So what happens here? Zone entry. Just an absolute floater by Eriksson Ek. Even he's like, kind of, what the heck? Did that deflect off Matheson? Matheson stuck his stick out. Nah, it looks like just beaten cleanly. Eriksson Ek makes it 1-0. 38 seconds in. Maybe Dobic's luck is wrong. Hey. It's 1 goal. Hasn't lost a game yet this calendar year. Dobic didn't have his angle. Well, he definitely didn't. First shot on goal, yeah. How many times? 7 times? Hi, Adam. Good to see you again. Got to get that back. Clean shot. I know, man. And now the Wild have the power play. Hello, Newfoundland. Hell of a start. Goal in the first shot and penalty within 55 seconds. Not great. Not a great start, that's for sure. Hey, Rick. Dobis should have had that, yeah. That was a weak penalty call. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see what happened. Bad giveaway by the Wild at the point, the offensive zone point, and then Anderson was able to kind of take it down, but didn't have enough speed and wasn't able to create an opportunity. But did Jano feel bad and decide to flip the puck to them? Oof. Rough crowd tonight. I thought everybody was going to be feeling all hunky dory after the Buffalo comeback win, but Minnesota looks healthier than last time. Yeah, it wasn't Erickson Ek even not even in the game when the Habs played him last time? I believe so. I believe he was out. No matter what, Montembeau got Wednesday. I'm not so sure. I wonder if they've just decided that they're going to give him a chance to work with the new goalie coach and just let him chill until end of February. I don't know if putting him back in if he's not feeling it is necessarily the move. Didn't Cappy have two penalties last game? I don't remember, but yeah, he does. He does get into a little bit of penalty trouble. That guy. Hey, Mark, good to see you again. Feeling like it's gonna be a long night. Ooh, we just started. Hopefully not. Or is it because the game's starting at 7:30? Oh yeah, Faber and Boldy were out too, eh? Yeah, okay. Well, the Habs got lucky then and faced a meager lineup last time. Not this time. Oh, nice try. Odd man rush in the zone entry. Uh, Deneau up the middle dishes it to Gallagher, who took a shot from far. Stopped by Gustafson, but not a bad try. Best chance so far. Oh yes, a Montreal Canadian passed away over the weekend. Yeah, Eck was injured as well last game. Yeah, I remember he wasn't around. Is it possible to send a player on a conditioning stint during the Olympics? I would strongly doubt it. I think it's pretty like hardwired into the CBA that I suppose if they agree to it, you can, but I don't think, I don't think a team would even broach it. So for like Montembeau, I don't think so. I think Montembeau's gonna get a nice rest and reset, hopefully. Rantis says, "Go, let's go with the Habs colors." Karen says we're winning 2-1 in OT. Well, the one has already happened, so let's see if Dobish can be You're saying Dobish can be perfect the rest of the way. That's gonna be a hell of a night if he can do it. Waivers are in effect, but I haven't seen anything about conditioning stints. Yeah, I find it very unlikely that a team would ask a player to even do it because you have to remember with the conditioning stint, the player has to sign off. I just can't imagine a scenario where the team would want to risk any bad blood or any situation like that. I know Dobish was even talking about it the other day. They asked Dobish about if he might go to Laval, and he was like, "Nah, I'm going somewhere warm." Like Hudson isn't resting during the break. Well, you know the old adage, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. That's gonna be them to Hudson. The Bell Center's like the ice is closed, but like if you want to go skates, if you want to go skate somewhere, go for it. Blue says, pretty crazy. The youngest team in the league is the third highest scoring D man, third highest goal scorer, and leading rookie point getter. Yeah, we're not used to in Montreal in the past 20, 25 years having guys at the top of the scoring lists, but things are changing. Adam Carter comes in with a prediction. There's no way it's just a one goal. The Minnesota just scores one goal. It's going to be like 4-3 or 3-2. But a one goal game, which would be fun. Howdy, Habs Absolutely Hockey. We always struggle in Minnesota. We do. But hey, the Habs also struggled against Minnesota at home and they won last time. So anything's possible. Valeno making moves in the corner. Can he make anything happen? Gets it back to the point. Nah, nothing happened on that one. But it's a nice try by him and Hudson. We haven't won in Minnesota in 15 years. My God. How long have they been around? Since 2011. So they've been around like 25, 26 years or so. Ooh, nice little dishing. Demidov with two chances. And somebody's hurt. Hunt? Damon Hunt in a lot of pain. Looks like he took the shot right up around the face, like the neck face area. Oof. Yeah, right in the neck, eh? That's rough. Well, hopefully Damon Hunt's all right. No penalty. It was just the guy got hit in the neck with the puck, so they blew a whistle. Or you mean like the earlier penalty that was a little dubious? Watching the Habs since the early 60s is the good old days again for scoring. I know. It's been so long since this team can light the lamp the way that these current Habs can light the lamp. Caden Glue with a nice zone entry, but he doesn't really have anyone to dish to. He's kind of just dumps it in the corner, and then the Canadians. Oh! Gallagher with a really nice chance there. Sort of caught everybody going the other way on a wraparound attempt, and he nearly stuffed it. Oh, Hughes with a nice setup to the Minnesota guy streaking in front. Welcome back, Sky Digger. Oh, I was gonna go listen to some Sky Diggers after last time, and then I forgot. Who sits out when Newhook comes back? Well, they also need room for Texier to come back, so Valeno Gallagher looking like maybe the two guys on shaky ground here. Yeah, Gallagher sits out for Newhook. I think so. I will say Newhook is not. I don't think he's that close to coming back, but I guess he's working out again. But that was a pretty bad injury. I don't think they're gonna rush him back. Oh, Gallagher kind of picked the pocket on the wraparound, and oh, he just hit the outside posts, trying to shovel that backhand in. Oh, yeah, yeah. Evans sits out for Newhook. No, Evans definitely will stay in. They will not get rid of their primo penalty killer and right-handed center. I don't think, anyway. I think the days of Newhook as a center with Kapanen playing the way he's playing and Dano around, I think the days of Newhook of a center are pretty much over. Ditto Doc. It just doesn't seem like there's any room for like half centers because now they've got three real centers and then Kapanen who's looking starting to look like a real center. So yeah, ain't no way Evans is seeing out he's their best penalty killer. I would be inclined to agree. I think Newhook is and Doc, their futures are on the wing. So Newhooks would be on the third line. He and Anderson, I think, would be a pretty awesome group together. Man, what a wealth of forwards, eh? We're talking about like Zachary Bolduc as like barely hanging on here, and he's a good player. He's having a good season. What's bad about Newhook playing center? Nothing bad about Newhook playing center. He's just what a save by Dobesh on Boldy. Boldy left all alone in front. Dobesh, man, keeping this a 1-goal game. Yeah, sorry. What's bad about Newhook playing center? Nothing. He's an adequate center besides the fact that he can't win faceoffs, but he's just not. He's the not better than the four guys they have at center right now. I think in the roles that they're like playing. So like Dano and Evans have to be centers because that's what they're good at. They're good at winning faceoffs, so they stay at center. They're the bottom two centers. Kapanen's still playing great with the second line, so why change it? And then obviously Nick Suzuki's Nick Suzuki. So then you've got your four centers. Hard to sit the guy wearing the A. Timur, this is a huge dilemma that they have. You are 100% right. It is going to be the day that Gallagher sits is going to be a pretty monumental day in that dressing room and in for the organization. Brendan Gallagher has given everything he has to this organization. He gives his all every game, but at one point the the other shoe's going to drop and he's just going to have to sit. And they're just going to have to be the Canadians are going to have to put on their big boy pants and scratch Brendan Gallagher. But you're right. It's not going to be easy to do it. And they're going to wait until the last possible minute to do it. Yeah, Veleno sits for sure. Kapanen is a good center, but he's definitely not the future second line center. Yeah, I mean that's more likely that he's not than he is, but if it's working right now, they're going to keep it going. Would you put Dano with Newhook or Newhook with Evans? I would probably put Newhook with Evans so that way you could have potential strong side face-off guys for each, but I'm not wedded to that. Newhook had good chemistry with Demidov. I could see him at the second line center at some point. If Kapanen falls off, then yes, Newhook is the first guy up. Who gets Gallagher's A? Slav? Oh, that's a good question. I don't even know. That's a good question. At what point does Caulfield maybe get one? Who's the assistant right now? I don't even know. Matheson for sure. What's going on here? What's going on with the Doc? Doc got slammed by Boldy and he's kind of holding his head on the bench. Habs on course to score 285 goals. Will Line be traded before he plays for the Habs again? Possibly. Because I don't think he'll be back before the break. And then right after the break, I could see like a pretty furious amount of wheeling and dealing happening. So yeah, it is possible that Line gets traded before he plays again. Especially if like they just don't think there's any room for him. I think Hughes will try hard to not screw him because he's a free agent at the end of the year. So I think they'll try very hard to not screw him over. So if they really don't think that he's got a chance here, they won't play him, and they'll do what they can to move him. Obviously, the contract's a bit of a mess, but you know, anything can at this point in the season, anything can be done. Cappy's here to stay. Cappy's definitely here to stay. Just a matter of when the time comes. Is he the team's second line center, third line center? Is he a winger? So far, he's looking pretty good as the second line center with Demidov and Slavkovsky, but you never know, right? I don't see a place for Line A, Timur says. Yeah, I agree. I like Line A, but I just don't. They're already struggling to find room for Texier and Bolduc and all these guys. I don't know how you add Line A to the mix. Slav reminds me of Jean Beliveau, always had. The other comparison I've heard a lot of is a Mahavlich. He's very Mahavlich-y. Which was the big one? The big Mahavlich. Hard to decide our A's because Caulfield, Slav, Hudson, Demidov, and two of the four will need to not have one. Yeah, I guess they do that thing where you have home A's and road A's. Something they could do. Habs Absolute Hockey says Cappy is the third C in the end when it's all said and done. Yep, I think that's pretty fair to say. Beck is you're not high on anymore. I mean, hey, it's hard to make the NHL. He's still very young, but he hasn't come out like gangbusters, that's for sure. Adam says Montreal's starting to has to start getting shots here. I know, and we just saw a big stretch of play in the Habs zone, so not a good place to be getting shots. Line at 4.5 for one season. He's still better than the rest of the bottom six, save Newey. Line is a good player, and some team that needs some power play help will definitely want him. But the problem is he just doesn't have this. The Canadians play a very fast transition game, and the one thing that Line is not good at is playing fast in transition. So I just don't think he's a fit. I don't think he's a bad player though. I think he's got a future if he stays healthy. Oh, we have another Slav comparison. Rantanen, that's another good one. I think the Habs would be very, very happy if he turned out to be Rantanen good. Yeah, it was Frank. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was Pete. It's Frank for sure. There you go. Big M Frank, little M Pete. That's like what like Roy G Biv. Like good way to remember. Is Hage coming up this spring? They're signing him at the end of the season in all likelihood, and he'll play like his one or two games to get the contract to get his 1 year on the contract in the books. But he's not gonna like if the Habs make the playoffs. Like I don't think you're gonna see him in the playoffs. I think he'll play in the Laval playoffs. Habs Absolutely Hockey says we're having a bad first. Yeah, yeah, we are. Oh, but then Mark said we're not having a bad period. So I don't know. I don't know where you guys stand. Very few shots. Beck should have 3 goals this season versus just the one. He got callback video on the offside and had nothing to do with the results. Yeah, he did get screwed over. He did get screwed over a little bit. I mean, in general, not many shots. Just 4-3. I don't think we should play him to burn his first year. Let Hage have his 3 full years. That's not how it works. Hage says I will sign and you will burn my year, or maybe I just stay in college. And the Canadians, who like him and I don't think care that much, not that they don't care, but like they can manage either way. They will be like, yeah, sure. Unfortunately, it's just the price of doing business with good college players. You burn the year. You can't avoid it. They have a little bit of leverage in like getting to stay in college. And we saw what happened in Winnipeg when they told Rutger McGroarty, "You're not ready," and then he was like, "Okay, well, I'll just stay here and not sign." I don't think that'll happen with Hage. Kent's too smart to break a relationship like that. But why does Hage want that? Well, because you get to free agency faster, you get paid faster. So honestly, I think it benefits everybody all the way around. Really, I don't think that third year is like for somebody of his stature. He's probably just getting the 1 year in Laval. I don't think he'll play much more than that. Yeah, exactly. Burn the year, sign the big contract faster. That's the dream. Bob says it's a boring game so far. Yeah, it is pretty boring. It's more fun chatting with you guys than watching the game tonight. It's not always the case. Case tonight. Oh, nice chance in front for the Wilds. Max says Beck has only 3 goals, 11 assists in 30 games in Laval this year. I doubt we will see much of him this year. I would go as far to say is that we will not see him anymore this year. I think the Habs have too many forwards now. It would have to take like 6 guys would have to get hurt for Beck to get another shot here. Uh, which is not the end of the world. I think he needs a full season in Laval. Hage will also see what the tempo is actually like and be able to prepare better over the summer. That's a good point, actually. And I do believe the Canadians put a lot of value. Like, I know that first Slavkovsky season, we were all like, why the hell is he here? He's not ready. He got hurt, got pushed around, looked like crap, skated with his head down. But I think the Canadians actually really valued him having that year where he just took all that crap. Oh, and Minnesota makes it 2-0. They really just kind of let them circle in front of the net. And it's Kaprizov, but it was a total team effort here. Like they are just a couple of lost boys in front of. Yeah, Demidov's there, Gooley's there, but I mean, Kaprizov is just fights and gets open in the slot, and that's a great play. Well, that Kaprizov is really good. I mean, the Canadians just got beat in their own zone pretty badly. I will say. This will make Marty happy and say, I have a good excuse to play Monty next game. Let's go Canada. Yeah, I think it's the one thing we can all agree on. Go Canada. I like it. Dobas should have had that one again. I mean, Kaprizov is left alone in the slot. What can he do? There's not much he can do on that play. The Wild are entering our zone far too easily. Yeah, and that play, they were just allowed to get into the middle of the ice way too easily. That was not a very impressive. 2-0 lead is dangerous. Let's see if Montreal can come back. Can't allow the third goal, or it is over. Oh yeah, Kaprizov, hey, making his money. That's for sure. Love Dobesh. Far better than Monty, but wow, 2 weak ones. I don't know if I'd qualify that one as weak. I don't know. Just if you have the top one of the 5 best players in the league sitting in front of the crease like that, I'm not expecting much from my goalie. Dobesh is a rookie. Nobody should be getting overly excited when he has a good 3 to 5 game stretch. He will have good games. He will have bad ones. He does have stuff to work on. Yeah, he's very young. He's definitely not number 1 goalie aged. The second goal, I don't blame Dobesh. The first one, I do. Yeah, the first one was a big softie. Karen says they need to stand him up before the blue line. Yeah, they're definitely just letting him in here. 2-0 mini with 1:25 left in the first period. Hey! Gallagher! Unbelievable! Gallagher! Going around. Gallagher going around Quinn Hughes. Did you have that one on your bingo card tonight, guys? Just when we write off that guy, man. Not sure what Gustin was thinking. Committed way too early. Got beat by the blazing speed of Brendan Gallagher, I guess. Hey, it happens, man. He's still got some tricks up his sleeve. And Deneau continues to get points since coming to Montreal. He's probably got more points now than he did his entire time in LA this season. All right, well, that's the end of the first period, and it's Not as bad as it seems. They're only down 2-1. But not horrible. I mean, how you guys feeling about that period? It's kind of like meh, like not great, but not horrible. Habs Absolutely Hockey says, well, now we're just down 1, so that's good. T. Moore says Gustafson was probably thinking Galley would run him. Took him by surprise. Yeah, it's just bracing himself for getting tackled by Gallagher. Too many passes cross ice in the offensive zone. Trying to go through 3 people. Cross ice doesn't work well most of the time, and it really doesn't against Minnesota. I find Minnesota is very, very tough on the puck carrier. They go pretty hard at them. So I agree with you, Max. I think they need to just kind of crash the net a little more. Like the Gallagher goal. Do that. Sabres have scored 3 unanswered goals to lead Panthers 3-2 in the second. Ooh, that's a game with some playoff implications. The Panthers looking like they might not make the playoffs, which, when you consider all the injuries they face, it's maybe not that surprising, but, from Stanley Cup to possibly not making the playoffs, that's always an interesting storyline. Yeah, Danault had 5 points in 30 games in LA, and now 7 points in 19 games for the Habs. He has been, I'm not going to say he's been good or great or even good. I know that his arrival has been a little contentious around here, but I do think that he has played much better with the Habs than whatever he was doing with the Kings. I think that's fair to say. Last time the Habs won in Minnesota, PK Subban scored a hat trick. Oh my God, it's been too long. Thank you for that one, Timur. That is a pretty crazy factoid. I like that one. Al says it should be 1-1. Dobis should have had that one. Absolutely Hockey says, well, we need to finally win. Yeah, because PK Subban is long retired. 2011, Max says. Jeez Louise. Not great. Three straight Cup final runs have caught up to the Panthers. Yeah, that is happened to Tampa, man. Tampa had the same thing where they have not had a lot of success in the playoffs recently, and now they're looking good again. But it took like a few years to get back on track after kind of recovering from a pretty extended Cup hangover. It's just too much. It's just too much physically to handle it. Get the freaking Cup out of Florida. I like it. Not having Barkov's huge loss for Florida. One of the best centers in the league. Absolutely. I mean, what team can win without their number one center? Really, Florida are no exceptions. Who's looking forward to the Olympics? Rick says he's looking forward to weightlifting. That's the wrong Olympics. That's the summer games. It's the winter games, Rick. Pick a winter sport. Bobsled. You're a bobsledder now. Watch the bobsled. Bill Guerin gave me a vacation. I'm using it to sharpen my shooting skills for the playoffs. I like how bitter Cole Caulfield is about not making the team. It's a winning attitude, frankly. I want him to be mad that he wasn't picked. I want Cole Caulfield to play with a chip on his shoulder. Shame Russia isn't there. Yeah, I mean, I won't say it's a shame, but shame for this. It's a shame for sports that politics, you know, prevents us from getting all the Olympic teams that we would like to see. But you know, there's a very good reason why Russia's not there. Timur, the Habs have won 31 and lost 24, which is a real step up. But the NHL and Amazon can't resist fluffing that up to 14 games over 500. You'd think the league would be embarrassed. You mean about like the extra point thing? they're not 14 over 500. I will give you that much. An overtime loss is a loss, but it's also not a loss. I mean, you know how it is. It's a loss and not a loss. Here, I count OT losses. Losses. A loss is a loss. I guess it depends on what is like important to you. Like, is the record important or just like they have this many points? And then when you have this many points, you know, every other team is in the same boat, getting the same benefit of the overtime loss point. So I don't know. I guess I don't think about it too much. I'm not like too. I don't feel too strongly either way, really. The infamous loser point, Max says. I hate it. Yes, it is a loser. It is a loser point. You don't have a problem with tie games. That was the thing, right? They just did not want ties at any by any means necessary. They were going to get rid of the ties, which at the end of the day, the tiebreaker is the wins, right? The regulation wins. So you got to win in regulation. How are the Habs fans standing all happy to be on TV, not barking at Shooter McGavin about Lane and Cole not being on the team? Lame. Paul, are you saying that Bill Guerin looks like Shooter McGavin? That's fun. That's funny. That's good. You win tonight. There are no prizes to be won tonight, but calling Bill Guerin Shooter McGavin, that's good. You guys make me laugh sometimes. You know that, eh? You guys are funny. Max says maybe the best game ever played was a tie game. Montreal 3, Red Army 3. Right? Maybe ties aren't so. I don't know. Maybe the NHL had ties for the longest time, and we all lived. I I think that the tie thing was like a you get those people who would be like, I paid for all this, I paid to come see this game and nobody won. But I don't know if that like do people really like go home and be like, man, I'm so glad that game ended in a shootout. I don't know. Period's about to start soon, I'm guessing. I have it at 3 minutes. 3 minutes left in the intermission, according to NHL.com. How about some odds? Let's play some odds. Money Puck deserved to win meter has 51%. Wild. Polymarket has 70 cents per dollar going to the wild. So the gamblers are a bit more on it. How about the high danger chances? 4-3 Wild in the high danger chances. And then in just regular scoring chances, it's 6-4 Wild. So not running away with it, that's for sure. The extra point was to make the league races closer. Uh, does it make it closer? I guess there's like extra points hanging around, but everybody gets the extra points. Does it actually make it closer? I'll have to, because somebody must have done the math and like done recalculated the current stats. But like, let's say an overtime win is 2 points, and then a a shootout is a tie, and you get the 1 point, and you don't get an extra point. I don't know. I seem to remember at the time the whole thing was that like again they were expanding into like new U.S. markets, and the U.S. markets ties were very much associated with soccer, and they wanted to not be soccer-ish. But NFL games tie. Those tie. I mean, they don't tie often, but they do tie sometimes. If the Habs can keep momentum after the first goal that they scored, it would be nice. Yeah, I mean that was man. It's a big difference going in at 2-0, down 2-0, and then going down 2-1. So hopefully the Canadians can shake off what was a pretty weak start, but they only gave up 6 shots. It wasn't like totally. They weren't totally bombarded here. More of an individual effort than a momentum swing, but yes, but yeah, but that's what Gallagher's good for, right? Gallagher is the guy who like makes the play that gets like the team all energized. Like you think after that play that the team is like a little more pumped coming into the second period. I know second period, not the Canadians period, but they've got to. Dobish needs to step up and make the big saves until Habs can tie it up. Well, that's what he's been good at so far. He definitely gives up the softies occasionally, but like when he needs to make a big save, he's been good at making the big save. And Caulfield is clutch. We hope to see it again. Okay, we are back. Second period is about to start. It is 2-1 Wild after one period. Eriksson Ek and Kaprizov, your goal scorers for the Wild, and Gallagher, your goal scorer for the Habs. Matheson Janot with the assists. And we are underway here. All right, nice work by the second line here. Can they get? They haven't got a shot though. They're just like kind of skating around trying to get an opportunity. Nah, and then Wild bring it to center ice at least. They don't bring it much further than that. Ooh, Hudson with the moves to get it in the zone. Then he hot passes it to Slavkovsky, and the Habs turn it over as they got to go get a line change. That was a nice play by Danault to intercept the puck at center ice, forcing the Wild back into their zone. Wild having a tough time on the breakout this period. The Wild are very good at holding the line in the first period, and now the Habs are playing, meeting them at their own game here. Yeah, look at Oliver Kapanen getting tangled up with Hughes. You like to see it. Ah, Pitlick with a fast zone entry here. Oh man, Tyler Pitlick of the Flying Pitlick brothers with a nice chance there. Centered it to a guy in front. Okay, now this game's starting to open up a little bit. Bolduc misses the net a bit too often. I know, for a guy with a cannon that he's got, you'd like for him to hit the net a little more. Nice save, Dobesh. Yeah, Dobesh is starting to settle down a bit. Carrier's taken 60 hits so far this season. Yeah, you know what? We do see Carrier struggle against the bigger teams. To me, it's like a pretty like night and day thing. He's a good defenseman, but when you're playing against a bigger team, you definitely want him to be your like sixth guy. Wow, Boldy, man, managed to get a shot off in the slot, and looks like Dobesh turned it away. Now the Wild are coming on strong after the Habs kind of started okay. Boldy, by the way, has got a 6 game point streak. Probably the only guy from that draft I think I would take over. Oh, I guess Hughes. No, Hughes was in that draft. That was a good draft, but other than Caulfield, Boldy I think is probably like the other really good guy from there. Yes, this is the Jack Hughes draft. So Jack Hughes obviously great. Gets hurt a lot though, including hurting himself at the team banquet. And then Boldy and Caulfield. Yeah, that's kind of like the big three from that draft. The problem that I have with Carrier, he's not the type of defenseman Montreal needs right now. They need him bigger and more physical. They do, but they also need a right-handed defenseman, and that's like, yeah, that's the thing about Carrier is that they have only two right-handed defensemen right now, and he's one of them. That's why David Reinbacher, please, please become good. They need you. All-time players not drafted in points: Marty number one, Panarin two, and Zuccarello three. A right-handed goalie, yes. If they could put a right-handed stick on Gooley and teach him how to play right-handed, it'd be perfect. That's what they need. They need to get a right-handed defenseman in case Orville Redenbacher over here is not ready and doesn't turn out. Yes, if Reinbacher does not turn out, they very desperately need to go out and get a solution at right-handed defense. Oh, what a save by Dobesh. Minnie's running circles around the Habs right now. Ah, it's on top of the net. Wow. What a chance. Oh my goodness. Everybody thought it was 3-1 there. Wild thought it was 3-1. Goal judge thought it was 3-1, but the puck landed on top of the net, not in the net. And that's not a goal. That's a fun play. Yeah, you don't see that often. Crazy, but the Wild are running circles around the Habs at the moment. Post to head to top of net. Yeah, is that the order of things? Right off the noggin. What an amazing play. Is interference not a penalty anymore? They don't call it as much as they. I don't know. They call the egregious ones. They don't call them all. Ryan Katz says Jack has played 437. He needs to be close to 730 at this point in the period. Yeah, he's still not playing much, and such. I mean, that's what Stu said, right? Such is life for a sixth defenseman. Sometimes I'm okay with trading Carrier for an upgrade, even if it's only a 2-3 year fix. Gives Reinbacher and a draft pick time to be ready. I just don't know who's available. And anyway, I don't think that they're going to trade Carrier for an upgrade. I think they're going to trade like a pick and a prospect for an upgrade, and then just keep Carrier. I think would be more the move on defense. They're not getting rid of Carrier. I think they would just rather move down Carrier. I think they like Carrier and are happy with Carrier as a third pairing defenseman. And I think he's a good third pairing defenseman. I just don't think they want him to be the number 2 right-handed defenseman. Refs aren't calling the ticky tack stuff tonight. No, they're letting him play. So they should put Jack Guy out some more. Let him wreak havoc, right? Oh, nice shot by Caulfield. It was kind of on the zone entry, slowed down, and then used the screen coming in. Took a nice shot. Nice blocker save by Gustafson. I feel like Hughes is going to play 60 minutes tonight. He's never off the ice. He isn't. He plays like a crazy amount. Sometimes I wonder if like they should do the same with Hudson. But honestly, sometimes Hughes dogs it on defense in a way that Hudson tries not to do. So I feel like if Hudson plays 30 minutes a night, he might be more inclined to dog it on defense, and I wouldn't want to see that. Well, that's going to be a penalty. Another nice rush by the Wild, and somebody had to trip up their man. If Caulfield had waited a second more, Doc would have been there in front of the net. Yeah, he was like using the screen, but off the rebound, Doc was coming in there. I've been thinking about a tough defenseman like Eric Gudbranson. Ugh, too slow, man. I don't know. I get what you're saying. He basically would be like a penalty, like a glorified penalty kill defenseman. But isn't Gudbranson just too slow? I'd like somebody a little faster than that. I don't know. I'm not loving it. I'm not saying honestly, like if they acquire him as like a depth guy, like I'm not opposed. Just don't play him too much. Oh, Kaprizov shooting from everywhere, and Dobish got to have a head on a swivel. I mean, hey man, the Dobish gave up a goal in the first shot, but the more warmed up he's getting, the better he's looking. Karen Rooney's back and says they're winning tonight. Ryan says that was not a penalty. Whereas Timur says you can't really tackle the legs. Whereas Blue says it's going down already. Whereas Pinfash says, well, what about all the odd man rushes the Habs keep giving up? Yeah, they've given up a few tonight. Oof. Kaprizov holding the line there. But the Habs are able to clear. There's a minute left. Hey, they're going to get a little shorthanded shot here. Oh, Evans crashed into the boards hard. Evans went, I mean, he got off on his own strength. He's okay. But man, Evans went in shorthanded and drove the net and then got pushed into the boards really hard. Dougie Hamilton. Oh my goodness. No thanks. Uh that guy just seems like I don't know. He looks like he's been hurt a lot. You know what? Dougie Hamilton is the forward version of Patrick Laine. Or is the defense version. Tarasenko, who did some damage against the Habs last game, trying to score on the power play. He's basically a glorified power play guy now. Which, hey, you can have one. Patrick Laine, take notes. But Habs Absolutely Hockey says, I can't believe that wasn't a penalty for crashing Evans. This is ridiculous. It did seem very similar to the earlier one. And Line is still only 27. That's what kills me. I know. He's like, I saw something recently saying that he was like maybe second or third all time in points for a teenager when he was a teenager. Like, he was so good at, like, he scored like 50 goals at like 19 years old. Just never got back to that level. PK's been solid. Yeah, the Wild are 0 for 2 tonight on the power play. The Canadiens have yet to go on the power play, so they're down a goal, but you got to think that the next, if the rules of refs making calls is in effect, you have to assume that the next one or the next one or two will go to the Wild. I wish Lane was like he was with the Jets. Well, if he was like he was with the Jets, he would still be on the Jets or still be with Columbus. But unfortunately, Liney's had some ups and downs and some injuries, and he's, unfortunately, a very talented hockey player trying to rebuild his career. Line skates like he's 37. I would say he skates like he's 47, maybe a little closer. Oh, nice try there by Dano. Man, we really see a lot of Dano on the ice taking bases. Well, there you go. I told you it was going to happen right away. Now, can the Canadians got a delayed penalty here, and they're in the zone, and there's a mini guy missing a stick. So you got the extra skater. The Habs should really ought to milk this for all it's worth. But now the Canadians are dilly dallying back in their zone, so I don't know. Try one rush here, and then you'll probably give it back. So I feel like they had a chance earlier when the guy lost his stick. Yeah, really bouncing the puck around. Okay. 8:46 left in the second. 2-1 Wild. First power play of the night for the Habs. Boldy's going to the box. This is the time. Can the Habs power play? Which Habs power play are we going to see tonight? Because, man, are they. Of all the things that are really inconsistent on this team, I think the power play might be the most inconsistent thing. We really see this team sometimes really light the lamp on the power play, and then sometimes they just can't do anything. They're seventh currently in the league. They're the seventh best power play in the league. So let's see if they can. But they've been up and down. Like they were fourth at one point. How about it, Suzuki trying to jam it home? Not sure how that if that I'm not sure how that one stayed out, but it's not in. So very nice chance in front. Suzuki to Hudson, and then Suzuki walks in. Slavkovsky's kind of looking. Good chance. There's still 136 left on this power play. We're just getting started here. Another face-off in the offensive zone here. Ah, come on. Terrible pass. Gotta love Hudson pushing around. Yeah, he doesn't back down from anything. Line is an upgrade over the PP over Gallagher, like almost anyone is. I'm with you guys. I don't really understand why Gallagher's still in the power play. I guess it's like the one place you can kind of shield him a little bit. Hudson can't keep the puck in the zone. We're now a minute elapsed in the power play. And the Canadiens they had one chance early on this power play and have not really done anything since. Nah, the power play started off okay, but now it's not looking good. Nah, Bolduc loses it, and now it's odd man rush Foreman for the Wild at the end of this power play, and a very loud noise to in the arena to signal the power play is over. Pinfash called it a useless power play. Minnesota was pressuring, and we have no adjustments. Outworked. Yeah, they were not. Minnesota was definitely going after the puck carrier pretty hard, and the Canadiens did not get a chance to really set up in the zone. It was not a very good looking power play, that's for sure. Outside of that first chance at the first chance at the beginning looked pretty good, and I was like, oh, maybe they got something going, and then nah, fell apart pretty fast. But how about it? Matheson with a shot at the point. Two Habs in front with a chance to kind of get the rebound, but they kind of had their backs turned. But that was a nice chance by Matheson. Yeah, that Suzuki pass was the real head scratcher. I was like, what the heck are you doing at the point there? But that was a great chance by Matheson. Look at that. Start walking the point. Three Habs, including Dobson down in front. On the radio in French, they said Montreal leads the league in losing power play faceoffs. No kidding. Feels like we never win and burn 30 seconds every time. That is that I know Mark Talifer has been touting that big time all season, losing that initial faceoff on the power play. What a strange stat. And I think you're right. I mean, the eye test certainly confirms it. So I'm yeah, very odd stat because obviously Suzuki is otherwise pretty good on power plays, but doesn't seem to be able to win those. I guess they could use Deno a little more as a face-off get-off type. Ditto Evan. I know we were complaining earlier about Evans occasionally being on the power play, but I would imagine it's purely to win a face-off. And now the Wild are really circling the Hab zone. All right, well, the Habs were able to get that one out of trouble. Man, we're less than 5 minutes left in the second period, and there's only 12 shots each. So few shots. Ah, man, Slavkovsky and Gooley with a chance. And again, no shot off. How about it? Second line. All right, here we go. Big chance by Suzuki here. He loses kind of the handle on entering the zone. He's able to keep it in. He can't even keep it in, and that's... Oh, that was close to an interference penalty for sure. But they get away with it. Yeah, Mark's been saying this for well over a year that Suzuki is just like uniquely not good at winning those faceoffs in the offensive zone on the power play. It doesn't make any sense. It's true, he doesn't win them, but like his faceoff percentage is otherwise pretty solid. I don't understand why that particular faceoff. Is it because when you are on the power play, the other team will always put out their best face-off guy, usually, right? Your penalty kill, your number one penalty kill unit, the your best face-off guy is there. So is he just not able to beat the like elite face-off guys, and he just like every night just keeps finding this out? I don't know. It's weird. Mark says Demidov got his stick hacked and broken. Why no penalty? Whereas Timur said looked like more of a stick on stick deflecting the shot. And then Rick Woods pointed out with a solution for the faceoff. They did it last season with Dvorak. He was absolutely a faceoff get off guy. Yeah, I don't think. I think Dano could be a faceoff get off guy on the power play. Dobson not playing with Hudson at the moment. Really? Who is playing? I think he is right now, no? Yeah. Hudson and Dobson are playing together right now. I'm not saying that it wasn't happening earlier, but right at this moment, Dobson and Hudson are on the ice together. Earlier, Gooley was playing with Dobson. Yeah, I'm not shocked that they would switch things up, but I don't think anything's set in stone on the defense at the moment. Bogosian loses the puck at the point. It's bouncing. The Canadiens cannot take advantage. Unfortunately. Arminio says, this has been a better period for the Habs. Yeah, they're only down a goal, and they've kept the shots at bay. Wish they had a better power play. It is a tight game. Either way, it's a tight game so far. Anybody's game. Maybe Sid could give Suzuki some pointers in Italy. Hey, that's not totally crazy, man. Suzuki's going to be in a weird position where he's going to be like one of the worst players on his team. Not one of the worst, but like, you know what I mean? He's going to be like a third, fourth liner on that team. Big opportunity for him to learn stuff. Timur is on the. Have Slavkovsky take the draw for a while. This has been floated. Oh, man. Dobish came around, like, moved laterally, like, a lot. Could have put himself out of position, but you know what? No, and then Kapanen, man, stealing the puck as the puck was heading back into the mini zone. That was a really nice chance by him, actually. Habs are not playing poorly by any means. They're facing a very tough opponent. And how about it? What a one-timer. That was what an incredible goal that was. Holy moly. First of all, Dobesh, incredible save at the other end. And then with 15 seconds left in the period, doesn't look like much is going on. Demidov with a little move finds Demidov way across through two defensemen. What a goal. Unbelievable. Man. Once again, in the final minute of a period, like Gallagher in the first, Demidov scores, and the Wild are heading back, slamming. One of the guys slammed their sticks. They are unhappy heading back to the dressing room, man. The Canadiens have snaked their way back into this one. Unbelievable. And Demidov, assisted by Hudson. Mark Taliver says, Holy Mother of God, unbelievable. Hudson is just insane. Great shot by Demidov. Arminio says, even better coming after the big stop by Dobesh. Al Wilson says, man, would have been nice to see Demidov in the Olympics. That is true. Karen Rooney saw it coming 2 minutes ago. Don't feel silly. If you feel the goal energy, you can tell us. T. Moore said, why bother with the first 19 minutes of the period? Because they want to make you tense. They want to make your blood boil. More impressive, Pinfash asks, Hudson's pass or Demidov's shot? Ooh. On that one, I'm going to say the Hudson pass. That Hudson pass was wild. But you also asked, 14 shots each, 2-2. Is this even hockey? Yes, this is a very tight game. Not a lot of shots. It's not the funnest game in the world, but hey man, they're both good teams. Yeah, Mark is also pro Hudson pass, but they were both good. Al called them both impressive. Yeah, that's true. Arminio says Demidov and Hudson are seemingly inseparable. They practice together. They hit the NDG rink together. Yo, these guys, the Canadians really like drafted a type with those two, man. Like real, just hockey obsessed, living, breathing the game. Those guys have taken to this league by storm. It's unbelievable. Mark says, with players like Hudson Slav Demidov, we are rarely out of any game, no matter the score. What a time to be alive. I know. I guess we all wish that maybe they didn't come back from behind so often because it's all making us rip our hair out and stress out and have high blood pressure. But it's true. They do they do stay in any game. Get out of here with a point and I'm happy. 2 would be sweet. Man, there's only 2 games till the break. It would be awesome for the Habs to enter the break with some momentum. Oh my God, that goal by Buffalo on Florida today where the goalie just left the net. That's hilarious. Best part, Arminio says, Hudson and Demidov are going to play together for many, many years here. Karen's still in the second period. The puck almost popped out of Dobie's net and in front of the net. Yeah, are you? Did you just see the posts on top of the net thing? You're in a different time zone than we are right now. Dobish doesn't get rattled by a goal he wanted back. This is the best part of Jakub Dobish, I think, and why I feel pretty good about him. Even if I don't think he's like technically the most sound goaltender, or I don't think he's ever going to like have the talent to be like a true number one goaltender, the fact that he just like seems to have a goldfish brain, and I never see him sweating a goal or like losing it. The guy's in the moment every time and a battler. Oh yeah, we're gonna see another Caulfield winner tonight. Timur, we didn't do the game where another Caulfield winner happened. I don't know how you feel about that. Rick asks, "What's the feeling that the Habs come out strong after the break? Remember, the schedule is almost a game every 2 days. Yeah, it's a pretty wild schedule, but I do think the Habs benefit from. They've got what, 4 guys going to the Olympics, but a lot of guys are staying home, including, as we said, Demidov, Caulfield, Hudson. Dobson staying home. All the defense gets to stay home, which I think is really awesome. Those guys log a lot of minutes. So I think they stand to benefit, but it's true. It would be nice if Suzuki got a little break. And of course, a big part of it's going to be the goaltending. How are these guys going to feel? Yeah, they got 4 guys going. So, and I mean, Texier, it's all good. Kapanen might get a little. This is a big workload season for Kapanen. He played a lot last year, though. If you remember, he played in the NHL, went to Sweden, played their playoffs, came back to Laval, played the Laval playoffs. So I'm not that worried about him either. Slavkovsky still coming into his own. I mean, he hasn't had a full 82 game season where he's really been on 82 games. So we'll see what happens with him. But Dobesh is not going to the Olympics. Dobesh was not selected to team select Czechoslovakia. Czechia. Czechia. I don't think Suzuki will get used much, and Slav may be a little worn out after the Olympics. I guess Slovakia, I mean, there's a good chance they get eliminated pretty fast. So I don't know. But yeah, if they go pretty far, he'll play a lot. And yeah, Suzuki won't play much. I guess it's really just more the travel and just not getting the time off. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't play a lot. It's just a lot of work. Karen says Slav's big and strong. He can handle it. He, hey man, that was his coming of age the last Olympics. So he's in good territory there. And then to me, Suzuki is a third liner and PK guy at the Olympics. Yeah, he's not. I don't think he'll play much in the top 6, but he can definitely carve out a role there. Habs absolute hockey. I want our guys to do well in the Olympics. Yeah, I do. I mean, I do too. I don't want them to, especially Suzuki. Oh, that's fun. Tonight is Chicago versus San Jose. So Macklin Celebrini versus Connor Bedard. Future of the NHL right there. I got the Red Team Canada jersey for Christmas for my son who needs a heart and liver transplant. Well, I wish all the best for your son. And I hope you guys get to root for Team Canada together. Get to watch some games, whether it's in person or remote. I hope either way you get to enjoy the Olympics and sending you all sending you my best. Just can't afford to get anybody hurt. Somebody's getting hurt at the Olympics. Not necessarily on the Habs. Some guy some guys getting hurt at the Olympics. Like law of averages, it's gonna happen. Just hope it's not a Habs player. Olympic hockey is usually not overly physical, so I think our guys should be fine. That is true. The problem is that there's actually like a lot of like not very good players that are going to be at the Olympics, like on the not good countries, and those are the guys who can maybe do some damage because they don't play. They're not graceful. They're not always graceful, and those are the guys that can get you hurt. If I'm being real, but if the Team Canada is good, I mean they're just going to blow by these guys, so it won't matter too much. Karen said, I thought Celebrini was injured. I don't know. NHL.com says he's playing tonight, so I guess he's back in. Speaking of Slav, Al Wilson says, heard Shane Wright is on the trade block possibly. Yeah, he definitely they're definitely talking about that. I mean, they need a total rejig in Seattle. Um they don't have much of a core there. Benier's looking like a pretty decent player. Riker Evans looking like a pretty decent player. Neiman's a pretty good player, but like they don't have much. The veterans are too old that they have. They could use another lottery pick. Right, pretty one dimensional player. I think he'd be useful somewhere, but that's not the space for him. Seattle needs to make a move. They need to change the makeup of that team. Team US wants to be physical. They brought size over skill. They snubbed Caulfield and Hudson for that matter. Yeah, they sure did. And Caulfield and Hudson are not happy about it. I tell you that much. I hope Shane Wright doesn't get traded to the Habs. I can tell you right now, there is a 0.0000% chance Shane Wright gets traded to the Habs. That could not be further from them what they're interested in. They don't need a Shane Wright, and they're not. It's not what they're trading for. I think Seattle's going to try to like again maybe be in like the Robert Thomas sweepstakes or try to pick somebody from the Rangers if the Rangers start making moves. Mark says, I think it's a terrible error. I think Team USA is going to regret going for size over speed. Whereas Karen says, hey, it's better for Team Canada. Timur says, duty calls. I have to watch for some delay. Pretty hard to predict at this point. Wouldn't mind seeing these teams go at it in the playoffs. Tough checking hockey. Hey, if they meet in the playoffs, that's the Stanley Cup Finals. So I think Habs fans would be thrilled if the Minnesota Wild and Montreal Canadiens met in the Stanley Cup Finals. Well, have a good night, Timur. It was great to have you as always, and hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday. Wednesday is the next game, and that's the last game before the break. Crazy. If McDavid or McKinnon go down, yikes! Yikes for the league. That would stink. The Leafs will grab Shane Wright. Shane Wright is definitely the kind of guy the Leafs might be interested in if they're looking to get younger, but not too young, like somebody who can play in the league. We don't want a cocky player with a high ego. Also, he's kind of just like a one-dimensional shot in the slot guy. They just got one in Bolduc. I don't think they need another one. I want the Habs Wild in the finals so he can win in front of Bill Guerin's face, who we established earlier tonight looks like Shooter McGavin. I love that. 57.1% on faceoffs and 14 shots. Karen, if the Habs are 57% on faceoffs, why can't they win any faceoffs in the power play? That's the question. Timur left right before Cole Caulfield scored the win. That would be funny if Cole Caulfield scored while Timur was out. But I think even Timur's coming around to Cole Caulfield. How can you not? Jesperi caught Kenyemi on the block as well. Well, they wanted him for Dano. Carolina offered Kenyemi for Dano, and the Kings were like, no, we're going to take this draft pick instead, this non-first round pick. That goes to show you where Kotkaniemi is right now. He's, I talked to a Carolina fan who said that they felt that Kotkaniemi was not a good fit with Brind'Amour, and that they think that Kotkaniemi still got some game in him. Again, not coming to Montreal, obviously, but if I don't know, who needs a young center? Again, like Toronto. No, they don't need that. San Jose, maybe? Utah? Somebody looking for a third line center. You could probably do worse than giving Kotkaniemi a try. Imagine if Caulfield does it again. Unbelievable if he does. Should we check the odds? No, they're not getting Kotkaniemi, at all. No, they got Dano. Dano is the guy. I don't think they're getting another center. Man. Oh. Vancouver would be a good fit for KK. That is a great spot for him. That's actually really smart. I totally agree with you. That's the kind of upside guy that they could use. Man, Money Puck has the Wild at 61%. Crazy. The Gamblers, though. Poly Market is 53 cents. Holy crap. 12 seconds in the period. Kirby Doc scored. Are you Yo, I was still typing up Poly Market odds. And look at Kirby Doc, goes right to the net. Who dishes? Nick Suzuki wins the battle in the corner along the boards, gets the puck to Doc, and the goalie's slouched shoulder. Wow. Kirby Doc is back. Back. Guys, this is why I can't give up my Kirby Doc addiction. He's just too big and too talented. I just can't give up on him. Even if it's all just a mirage. Even if it never happens for him. But he's playing great. He's been playing great. Cole Caulfield assist. He doesn't have an assist on that one. Right now it's Dobson got the other assist. But that's exactly what Kirby Doc needs to be doing. Going to the net. I feel like Slavkovsky's game changed night and day when he started to get smarter about going to the net. And now it looks like Kirby Doc's going to be that guy. Unbelievable. It is 3-2 Habs. Is Jack-Eye injured? I didn't see anything about him being injured. Karen was feeling it, and now the Habs have their first lead of the night. They were down 2-0, and now lead 3-2. Unbelievable. Oh, you're off. Allowed to come right in front, and he's got a tricky shot, man. He nearly got blocker top corner there. Yeesh. Hey, Harry. Yeah, it was a dreaded 2-0 lead, but for them. Jack Guy plays better when he's not with Carrier. Well, he's got to play with somebody. Marty smells a win. Yeah, that's why we're not seeing much Jack Guy at the moment. Lots of Ghoulie, not a lot of Jack Guy. It's not a very physical game, Mark asks. Is that why Arbor is sitting? Yeah, I think that might be honestly probably the most. This is a speed game. Minnesota is a fast forechecking team. I think maybe they're just wanting to play it safe tonight. And there was also pointed out that Minnesota lost one of their defensemen for the night in Hunt, so the Canadiens maybe feel a little more comfortable just playing five defensemen, knowing that there's only five defensemen at the other end. I don't know about that one, but Ryan, you want him to play a regular shift, eh? You want to see Arbor out there? Yeah, I do think it's weird. Hudson, Matheson, Dobson, Carrier all got apples tonight. Yeah, lots of offense coming from the defense, which is just how Marty likes it. Oh, Evans with a really they stole Bogosian broke his stick and then the Habs stole it. Evans down the ice, kind of in slow mo, but he was able to get a nice chance out to Bolduc there. With Arbor, he does clear players out around the net. Yeah, I feel like the Wild have been good on the zone entries, and they've kind of been good at like circling. I don't know if they think that Arbor's just like the speed's too much for Arbor right now, but I don't find that mobility is his issue. Oh, what a play! Slavkovsky found Kapanen all alone in the slot, man. What a one timer. Gustafson. That's a nice save. He just kept his team alive. Good. It's funny, there's not a ton of shots tonight, but both goalies have had to make some big saves. Yeah, ooh, Evans had a good chance there earlier on the broken stick. Mark says, how can you have Jack I have any confidence when Murray used him the way he does? It's ridiculous in my opinion. Oh, somebody tried the fancy pants between the legs pass the Wild, and Gallagher ends up taking it up the ice. Oh man, he had a chance to feed a streaky Anderson and missed him. Hudson needed to get rid of that faster, but now Caulfield's got the puck in the zone though. I've still got it. Can they get something done here? They got to win the puck out of the corner. Oh, Suzuki off the puck. I mean, now it's just pure action. The Canadians absolutely got to watch out here. Anybody's game. The puck's going up and down the ice, man. Suzuki had a what a chance. Oh, and the Wild off the turnover. You knew that was some fire wagon hockey right there. You knew something was going down. But the Habs had their chance. Suzuki off the post. And then Johansson, I think, was the one who split the D. And then Faber just jumps into the play. There you go. Tied up 3-3. Hey, this is a fun third period. This was not the most exciting game, but now in the third period, this is getting exciting. Man, this is a fun period. Was it out of? Was it an offside? Well, they would have checked it for sure. Oh no, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that, man. Yeah, how about Matheson tonight? Not a great night for him. He's -3. Gooley's -2. Hudson +3. Carrier +2. Dobson even somehow. I don't even understand how that makes any sense. Dobson's avoiding it all tonight. But very back and forth. I mean, it's even. It's 18-17 in shots currently as well. So it's really. I didn't get an update on the. Hold on. Let's get an update on the chances here. So scoring chances are 19-14 Wild, and then high danger chances are 7-5 Wild. So the slight edge in chances for the Wild, but nothing insurmountable at the moment, really. This is still a very back and forth game. All right, this time the puck was kind of sitting in the slot, and the Habs were able to get it out finally. All right, let's see if Anderson and this line can bring a little physical edge here. I think that's maybe where the Habs can bring it to the Wild on a defense that's very talented with like Hughes and Faber. I think you can get a physical edge here. Spurgeon too. Spurgeon's not a he's a small defenseman too. Middleton's big guy though. That guy's tough to push around. But you know what? Middleton is probably what I would say like the Habs like hope Jack Eye could be. Jake Middleton, man. That's like kind of the guy you're looking for. Mini paid a big price for him from San Jose back in the day, but I think they're pretty happy with how that trade turned out. All right, look. Oh man, potential 2-on-1 forming here. Somebody's got to get back. All right, that's Wild ended up circling, going for more of a chance to establish in the zone, which is a very smart play on their behalf. Can they get it out? Okay, Habs get it out. Habs match up better with the Wild than the Sabres. Maybe because they're not as big. Yeah, the Wild don't have as big a defense. They have a much more talented defense, but they don't have as big a defense. That's for sure. And then Pimpfash says, "Is it Caulfield time? They need him. They need somebody to score here. 9:36 left. Tied up 3-3. Shots are 19-17. Habs took the lead finally. They were down 2-0. Took a lead early in the third period, and then the Wild almost immediately came back and tied it up again. So the lead was short lived. Oh, Doc with another great chance. Caulfield got kind of held up going to the net. He stopped, turned around. Doc, on the other hand, had a clear line to the net, and he passed it to Doc, and Doc was not able to stuff it in on the side, but that was a great chance. Doc is looking great. How are you guys feeling about Doc on the first line of late? Now that he's kind of like ensconced himself back in there, do you feel like he's there for good? Are the experiments over? Is the musical chairs to play first line over? That's the goal. Faber assisted by Johansson and Hughes. That's the game tying goal. Mark says, so far so good with Doc. Arminio feels he belongs there. Habs just says, I can't take another loss in mini. I know what you mean. Pimfash says, I know it's not their game, but Slav should have chipped in and crushed Hughes. Then Kapanen could have smashed Faber. Could have used some heaviness on top lines, keeping the other team honest. See, that would have been a good instance to use his physicality. I know you're right. It's not their game, but you are much bigger than Quinn Hughes. Could have tried it. And Kapanen's is a lot bigger than Faber, too. Or not a lot bigger, but a little bit bigger than Faber. It would have been nice to see them try to be a bit more smash mouth behind the net. I agree with you, Pim. Because they actually were able to clear it pretty easily. So it would have been nice to see them try. You don't necessarily got to be, I'm not expecting to be Tom Wilson out there, but use your body. You've got it. Use it. All right, big offensive zone face-off here that Canadians win. Get it back to the defense. But doesn't last long in the zone. Two of the three goals that Dobish allowed are soft, says Habs Absolutely Hockey. I don't know. One of them was the third goal was Faber kind of left all alone to jump in the rush. Like he was all alone. I don't know. That's not easy to stop. Pimp, that's not the system allowed. They cannot play physical. Oh no, no. I don't know if that's true. I think it would have been okay, but I know what you mean. This is this is not a team that overpowers people physically. That is not how they play. Speaking of which, Mini on that play, right off the draw, really trying to get Dobish out of his kitchen, and bad face-off loss by Deneau there. Hughes walking the line. Really nice save by Dobish in traffic. I know he went backwards. Wasn't totally sure where it was, but that was a very nice save by Dobish to cover it up. He's now up to 15, 16 saves. I know that's not like statistically very impressive, but and I know you guys were saying that you think two of the three goals were soft. I think one of the three, the first one was really soft. I'll give you that one. The other two, I think, were kind of just like, good players in front of the net. What can you do? Dobesh was cool, Rick Woods says. Yeah, he's not he does not buckle under the pressure. Man, after watching Caden Primo for a couple of years, Dobesh is like the anti Caden Primo. And I'll take it. I'll take it, guys. Oh, Faber. Damn near shot one timer, like damn near flung his skates off. He swung that so hard. All right, Kaprizov's in the zone now. Okay, wow, they're definitely rushing here. Ooh. Oh man, Dobesh had to give up a fat rebound there, but he made the save, and the Habs were able to get it out. But now Hudson's really got to. The Habs need to take a breather here and try to get the puck out. You got three guys behind the net. There you go. Ooh, Slav with a nice zone entry, but got picked off. Yeah, that's offside. Man, there's 7:17 left. It's 3-3. This is a tight game. This one's are you guys stressed? I'm a little stressed right now. Watching this. These are big games, man. These are big, like these games matter. There's lots of time left in the season, but these are real establishment games here. Just like those Buffalo games. Oh, Dobesh is Dobesh got such long legs, man. He's able to just kind of like stick his leg out and well outside of the net just to try to like get the puck under it. But again, Mini with a nice clean zone entry. They rush into the zone and they get like that one initial chance. And then they're good at keeping the puck in the zone and establishing it, but they always go to the net hard first and they get that one chance. And it always starts everything. All right, Evans with a nice defensive zone face-off win here. And the Habs are now able to get the puck clean out. Holy moly, Matheson, what a play. Come on, make this worth his while. That was a great play rushing in. Ooh, Dobson with a hard slapper, but right on the Minnesota player. He's got to try to get that through. That guy wasn't even set up for the block. He was just standing there. Johansson, who's got 2 points tonight and just was damn near out of the league like 3 years ago. He was perennial buyout contender. Just having a career year somehow. He's been great tonight. Really great at protecting the puck entering the zone. Which I think was kind of what Hughes was saying about what he liked about Texier. That Texier was good at getting the puck and keeping it in the zone, even if his offensive talents were like maybe a little overstated after his hot start. Man, Josh Anderson doesn't even have a chance to like the puck goes in the corner and he doesn't even have a chance to like go battle. Like the Minnesota Wild are so fast at getting back that they're not even able to like do anything behind the net. 6:10 in the third period, tied up at 3. Minnie's now got 22 shots to the Montreal 17. This is a tight game. Big offensive zone face-off for Suzuki here. Now you guys got me watching every face-off like it's life and death. Suzuki could not lose that cleaner. Puck is long gone out of the zone. Ooh, Doc with a really nice zone entry. Got along the boards. Nice give and go with Dobson here. How about Doc? Can he do it again with the wraparounds? He still has the puck behind the net. Dobson with the kind of low intensity one timer there. Not really happy with that play, but yeah, really impressed with. I was impressed with Doc the last game, and I'm impressed with Doc this game. Just pray for health, as always with Kirby Doc. I mean, the Habs are doing a good job keeping the puck out of their zone and in the mini zone. 4 minutes to go, 4:20, and it's 3-3 still. And every time the Minnesota Wild get it in the Habs zone, it's just like, hold your breath. They are really talented. Really talented team on offense. The third goal was more on Caulfield as Faber was the man entering the zone. Yeah, I thought he was. I mean, he got a clean shot right on Dobesh. I don't really know what Dobesh could do, but all right, Hudson, man, he's the one with the dump and chase here, while the Habs go for a line change. Oof, Yurov with the moves, but he can't get a nice shot on net. Oh! Minnesota left wide open Kaprizov. No, not Kaprizov. Who's 91? That's Ek. Kaprizov 97. Tarasenko. Ooh. Not the guy you want to leave alone in the slot, but didn't get a chance. Man, this game is tight. Yeah, Tarasenko. Beautiful one-timer attempt, but it's Hudson and Caulfield who just kind of stymie Tarasenko just enough that he can't get a shot off. And a very nice clear by the Habs. Hopefully they didn't dump it too far. No, they didn't. Icing called off. But Minnesota, man, they're so fast through the zone. They immediately get back into the Habs zone. Hughes circling at the point, trying to get a shot in. Missed wide. But he's really good at that. Two minutes to go. I mean, the Minnesota Wild really entered the zone with a lot of skill, man. They really do like a lot of passing, stick handling. It's like pretty high risk stuff, but it's fun to watch. And when it works, it really works. Like look at Kaprizov just blowing through neutral ice. Look, he's in the zone. Unbelievable. Very talented team. Now the Habs are the ones kind of on their back heel, and they've got to dump the puck out of the zone. There's a minute 10 to go in regulation. Still 3-3. Habs took the lead finally in the third period after being down 2-0 at one point. And then Brock Faber tied it up. And that's kind of where we sit. We're in the final minute of regulation here. You and me both, Karen. This has been a playoff game tonight. Playoff intensity. I'm a wreck in the playoffs. Karen, you haven't seen the rest of us. None of us hold up too well in the playoffs. 37 seconds left. We got a whistle here. Behind the net. go for the point. Non-conference matchup. Yes, I Blue, I think at this point, 30 seconds, 37 seconds to go. I think both teams are happy to walk away with a point and then battle in 3-on-3 for more. Arbor had 8 shifts this game. He did not play. He has not played since whenever the heck he was last out. 551 for the big man tonight. Not good. They gave up on him tonight. Ah, that's a bad giveaway, Gooley. Come on, they got to be harder on the puck there. 23 seconds to go, and the Habs just gave the puck away in their zone, but they're able to get it out. Now Evans is able to get it behind the net, but not for long. Minnesota takes it back. 7 seconds left. The Habs get a point. Let me know what you think. You guys seem kind of happy? Not happy? I think that's pretty good for. I mean, they are playing against the Wild. They played the Wild in Colorado this week, which are literally 2 of the 3 best teams in, I think, in the NHL, and have at least come away with 3 points against them. Not a loss if 2. That's right, Karen. You said it was going to be 2-1. It's going to be 4-3 in the end, but not bad. Not a bad guess at all. Blue says, great road game. Habs were the better team most of the game. It was pretty bad. It was pretty even, I think. I think I'd give the slight edge to Mini for most of the game, but not much. Not much. This is a pretty even game in the end. Al says I'll take it. Goat Caulfield says, hey, it's Caulfield time, right? This is the big money moments. I mean, wouldn't Caulfield and Hudson love to show up Garen right now? James Wisniewski, what a great. He was on the last Habs team to win in Minnesota in 2011. Good player. I like Wiz. Hudson versus Quinn 3-on-3. Look out. Caulfield wants to get 50. Well, this is a great opportunity for him to get ever closer. Suzuki missed his pass by a lot. Canadians got to double back and start all over again. I think, yeah, I was going to say, Hudson looks like he's going to double back again. But this time, Kaprizov's not exactly going to let him totally off the hook. Nah, Canadians held up at the zone again, and they give up the puck, and this is dangerous. This is dangerous stuff here. All right, now Suzuki and Caulfield back and forth. Caulfield tried a nice little move between the legs, but couldn't get it done. So now Minnesota gets the puck back with 3:48. Now they get their first chance of the night. to do some damage. And Boldy they let walk in, but Boldy was only able to get kind of a one-handed shot on goal. Slavkovsky with the first shot in overtime tried to catch Gustafson off guard. I'm always okay with a nice little shot off the zone entry. You never know how it might go down. Yeah, what a chance. Boldy, one-handed. You love it. 3:15 left in OT. This time, Eriksson Ek wins the faceoff, so the Wild get the chance to get something going here. Oh, Kaprizov just broke right in there. And Dano takes a penalty. I mean, when you let Kaprizov walk in like that, you know something like that might happen. I mean, his stick is. He lost his stick, you know? Oh no, the RDS feed. What happened? They're cutting to Antisham. Don't cut to Antisham. The game's not over. Don't be don't be, don't be doing this to me tonight, RDS. No, no, we're back. We're back. Wild call a timeout. What is it with Dano and the penalties? Well, he's a primarily defensive player who plays against pretty good offensive players, and he's definitely lost a bit of a step. So he does take more. He does take more penalties trying to play defensive hockey. Pimfash says Minnesota got the call because they attacked, whereas the Habs spun back a little too many times. One too many times. 400 times, he said, but one too many times. Mark says, Dano is the $6 million man. He loses the faceoff and takes a penalty. Blue says it was a terrible call in the first place. NSLG says, well, let go of the stick to avoid the penalty call and got it anyway. All right, we got a minute. Oh, come on. How's that not interference? He tripped the guy in the zone entry. Nope. Nothing. And Mini Kaprizov wins it. I thought that that definitely could have been interference at the blue line. I think they're looking right now if maybe it was even offside because of the interference. You could definitely see Latowski looking at the tablet here, but it looks like he stayed out. Well, that was the penultimate game before the break. Um, Canadians came back down 2-0, was the positive. And I thought hung around with the Wild pretty much all night. But the Canadians had a pretty golden opportunity to actually win this game, and they did not take advantage. And then they let the Wild come back in OT and win it. So, you know, not the worst game, not the worst ending, but a bit of a disappointing ending, I would say. Blue says, yeah, how is that not interference? I'm not too sure. Ryan says textbook interference. Um, Pimpfash says, yo, stop blaming the refs. Mini dominated since the tying goal. Habs Absolutely Hockey says, we can't win in Minnesota ever, not since 2011. Um, Mark says it wasn't a penalty. Suzuki tripped over him. We'll have to look at the replay on that one. I looked like interference to me, but you could definitely be right there. Bob says Habs didn't deserve to win. Dobish had a poor game, and we were lucky to get the point. Um, Mark says Cats and Blue every day. They comment about the refs. Arminio asks, "Do we get Monty in the peg?" You might. It's possible. The Habs dilly dallied. Pimpfash says in OT. um, yeah. So that was yeah, okay. You guys are sort of a little all over the place. I think I'm pretty disappointed that the Habs did not take better advantage. There's definitely some opportunities to win the game there. They didn't win the game. That's kind of I think my key takeaway tonight. That there could have been an extra point here. Didn't happen. But they also, played against the Minnesota Wild, undoubtedly one of the best teams in the NHL. And, pretty much went blow for them all night. So I would say that I give the Canadians maybe an incomplete tonight, incomplete mark. So, some good and some bad. Yeah, exactly. Kelly is always the voice of reason here. Not a bad effort, but not good enough. Minnesota was just a little bit better tonight. That is exactly how I will see it. Karen says, see you all Wednesday. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bob says, will you see me on Wednesday? Yes, I will be back on Wednesday, I will say. I'll be back on Wednesday. Mark's happy with the point. Harry calls it a tough one to lose. That's how I feel, too. I just want to know, Mario asks, is the pick play a penalty or not? because I feel like we get called on it a few times. Overall, a point there's not the worst thing. Just sucks not to pull out the win. Yeah, I that's why I thought it was. I did think it was interference. Mark says that it was pretty like accidental, but I feel like even if it is accidental, if it happened, I don't know. It's kind of confusing. Uh, yeah, good game though. Good game. I can't. Anyways, if you want to check out the highlights tonight, um, Hidden Game is going to be with Herb Zukowski is going to be in a couple hours. Tomorrow morning, you're going to get About Last Night with me. You also can watch the Liveblog replay, which I'm going to post the link. It's well, you can see the link right now. It's at the top of the pinned comments, but you can then see it later. You can also just go to montrealgazette.com and it's all there. Um, Hockey Inside Out. I wanted to tell you guys because the Canadians play on Wednesday, we've decided to do Hockey Inside Out on Thursday so that we can talk about all the games in leading up to the break and have a more like encompassing here's where the Habs are at the break thing. So that's what I want to you guys to know. But otherwise, I will see you all on Wednesday. I'll be back on Wednesday, and then yeah, it'll be the Habs and the Winnipeg Jets, and then it's a break, and then the Habs are man, it's going to be a crazy stretch drive to the playoffs for this team. Will they make it? Will they not make it? They're looking pretty decent right now, but games like tonight, man, they make you feel a certain way about this team. They're close, but they're not quite there yet. All right. Have a good night, y'all.